Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling. So glad to be with you today and glad that you have us on wherever it is that you're checking us out. Today on our program, in the first segment, we're going to shine the spotlight on business professionals who consult and share their knowledge with others who are in business or who want to be in business. They're going to be doing a very special seminar on May 13th at the main branch of the Free Library. So stay along so that you can meet Mr. Wayne Wormley and also George Slook. And then when we turn the page a little later on in the program, we're going to talk with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm talking about Tony Smith and Adrienne Smith. Adrienne is a pastry chef, and she's going to tell her special story as well. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. And here we go with this first portion of our program. So glad to have you along for this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling. If you just turned your television set on, I want to say welcome to Mr. Wayne Wormley. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you.
And you are the owner and president of the Wormley Company.
Yes.
And then I have Mr. George Slook with us as well. And you are a business consultant, correct?
That's correct.
Well, I'm glad that you're both here. A small portion of the group of people who decided to come together and volunteer your time to share your business acumen, how to be successful in business with others who would want to know that information. So tell us about May 13th and what's happening. Let's start with you.
May 13th at the Free Library, 5:30 till 8:30 p.m. We're calling it Energizing Entrepreneurial Excellence. And it really looks at the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Philadelphia as it's really beginning to grow and trying to help small businesses figure out where they fit into that ecosystem and provide expert information and advice on how to grow the business. Our other colleague, Stephen McAllister, who's the financing expert, and then George, who's the business consultant. And I do more organizational development, change management kinds of consulting and executive coaching. And then we'll have a couple of other presenters, including Michael Pearson, who's the president of Union Packaging, and Julie Smith with the National Organization of Women Business.
Okay, so now this presentation on May 13th, main branch of the Free Library, 5:30 to 8:30. How is it going to unfold at that time? So for people who are viewing the program right now who are thinking, oh, I'm in business and things aren't going as well as I'd like them to, maybe these folks can give me some advice and help me, but they'd like a sense of what the program is going to be like.
All right.
Mr. Slook?
We'll open up with about an hour of panel presentations. We have 4 panelists. Let me reiterate a little bit on that. I'll open with a discussion of business planning. I'll be followed by Julie Smith, who will talk about marketing and technology. That's followed by Stephen McAllister, who is doing business financing, kind of inside tips. And then Michael Pearson will put it all together because he is our success story that we are illustrating to the group. An important part of our presentation is that it be interactive. So we'll ask for questions be formulated and passed up using index cards up through Wayne to the panel so that as we give our presentations, we can then address the questions that the audience has who represent small business owners and engage them in that. Once we complete that, we'll have a little period of adjournment. I guess it's about a half an hour for they can get refreshments at the cafe, which will be open for service. And then we're going to assemble again in the Skyline Room on the 4th floor, meet the panelists up there, a network event for all involved, and then each panelist will be in a breakout room where we'll address our individual disciplines, and Wayne will basically cycle through all of that and keep everything moving. So that's a snapshot of what we're trying to do.
Okay. Now for each of you, what do you think are some of the issues that may make a business owner not do as well as they possibly could in their first few years?
Well, I think business owners at different levels, the question is always, do they have time to do something other than just work in the business? That is, to step out and work on the business, to do the business development. So there's always a question, when do you delegate? When do you expand? When do you take it to another level? There are a lot of resources in Philadelphia. We have the various small business development centers at the different institutions. You have the Enterprise Center. You have the Goldman Sachs program, the 10,000 Small Business Program that's running out of community college. You have a number of those kinds of resources, but sometimes businessmen either don't take the time to take advantage of, or they don't know which one makes sense. And so we're hoping that being in that kind of setting, people can begin to at least recognize you can't do it by yourself and you can't do everything.
Yeah, I bet a lot of business owners want to ask the question, where's the money? As in grants for assistance to purchase more product or to upgrade your building where your business is, or for whatever it is that they may need it for. Where's the money? And what I have found in the 2 years that I've been dealing with the Commerce Department, City of Philadelphia, on a regular basis as a business quarter manager, is that yeah, there's some money out there, but so many people are going after the same dollars that everybody's not going to get a piece.
That's right.
And that's where I see business owners getting frustrated. They're like, well, you tell me there's money, and then when I go, I can't get it.
Well, I think business owners also have to think about, are there other alternative strategies for financing the business? That's something that Stephen will talk about. For example, do you need to do some leveraging? Do you want to finance a franchise? Do you want to finance your product line? It's not always about grants. So part of the issue is, am I generating enough internal revenue to fund the business? Or maybe I'm spending that money, but it's not being spent in effective ways or efficient ways. How much do you spend for marketing dollars, for example, and how much do you do on business development? So those are tough questions, and it's very hard when you're in business to step back and always get a good answer.
The business plan, how important is it for somebody who is just getting started in business to sit down and put together a business plan, or either pay somebody to put one together for them? How important is that plan?
Just like you said, business plan, quite often we think of the plan as a document, which it is.
Yes.
Right? But the element that a small business owner needs to engage in is business planning, because that is ongoing and it's a process, okay? So what we generally do is create a business plan as needed in a document form for a bank or for certification or what have you. But the whole process of planning is something that needs to take place every day. And then you get better at what you do through the iterative nature of business planning. So there is a distinct difference between the two.
Okay. Now, I want to get back to the actual seminar a little bit, because we really want our viewers to get excited about this and come. It's May 13th. As we're taping this show, we're still in the month of April, but we really want people to put this on their agenda. People can actually RSVP, and that would be nice if they would do that in advance, so folks can sort of plan for how many materials, handouts they may want to bring.
There's actually an Eventbrite set up to register online. We're trying to get a sense of the count, and this is a free event. And it really is geared for established businesses. Startups have other resources available, but many times established businesses don't always know where to turn once they're up and running, and maybe they've plateaued. So how do you take it to the next level? So those are some of the topics we'll address. And we know Michael Pearson, who has gone from startup through a business that has been very successful in Philadelphia, as well as Julie Smith and others. So we're looking forward to good interaction, plus the networking. The other thing that's important for small businesses to figure out is, you're not in this by yourself, and you're not the only person to try to invent this wheel. And in many cases, the kind of networking that goes on is very important.
That's why I enjoy Med Week so much every year when that comes around in the
Yes.
early fall. I think it's October.
October, correct.
And businesses getting together and having the workshops and the seminars and the networking to just sort of talk with others and see what they're doing, what they're experiencing, how did they get to their success, what were some of their failures. What I also like about the way your group has designed the May 13th event is that there will be the opportunity to talk with the panelists
Yes.
after the fact of the panel discussion. Because I think some small business owners may be a little embarrassed about some of their stumbles or fumbles along the way, but they really want to be able to talk about what they may have made a mistake on with a seasoned professional so that they can get pointed in the right direction.
Sure. Nobody does it perfectly all the time.
Right, right.
And many of us learn from the mistakes that we make. And what you'll find is many people are serial entrepreneurs. Start a business, business isn't successful,
Yes.
start another business, start to grow into different things. It is a learning process, but in many ways it's in the blood.
Okay. Now, Mr. Slook, again, business consultant, how can people be in touch with you? If somebody's watching the program right now and they say, I'd like to have this gentleman come and give me some advice.
Yeah, easiest way is just Google my name, I pop up. But you go to my website, MetaFocus, as well.
That's
and,
METAFOCUS?
FOCUS, that's correct. And so
Is
that's easy.
that .org, .com, .biz?
Yeah, .com. Yeah.
Okay.
What happens, I'll pop up, fortunately.
Okay.
So that's the best way to connect. And,
Okay.
And then to tie into a comment that Wayne mentioned about small business owners and how their business plateaus. The way people come to me is when they've grown their business from start to a point in time where top line revenue has begun to flatten or even decline. And they've grown organically up to that point in time. Generally speaking, they don't know what's happening to them. And it kind of is in two camps. When you look at it and I sit down and talk to them, you can find that maybe they've changed inside the way they do business, but their message to the outside, to their market, hasn't changed.
Okay, please, let's plug that Eventbrite site one more time.
Absolutely. By far, you're looking for energizing entrepreneurial excellence, an Eventbrite event on the 13th, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. And we really appreciate your speaking with us and being able to promote this event.
And if people want to be in touch with you, Mr. Wormley, how do they do that?
The easiest way, I do have LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
That's the easiest way.
Well, just check you out. I haven't got to LinkedIn yet. I thank you, gentlemen, both of you, for joining us. We're excited about May 13th, main branch of the Free Library. It is free, ladies and gentlemen. It is from 5:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m., all about business and helping people who are already in business become even more successful, because you'll be learning from the experts on the panel. We will move it on to our next segment of our program. Again, I thank you for being with us. We'll be back in a moment.
My name is Veronica Gilliard, a graduate public health nursing student at LaSalle University. Hypertension, also known as the silent killer, continues to be a significant health issue in Philadelphia. 1 out of every 3 adults in Philadelphia suffers from hypertension, with African Americans having the highest incidence and prevalence than any other ethnicity. Hypertension remains a major risk factor for heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, early death, and disability, all of which could have devastating, life-changing effects on you, your family, and friends. Remember, you can look good and feel great without any symptoms of your blood pressure being uncontrolled. Start today. Improve your health and quality of life by taking control of your blood pressure. Get your blood pressure checked and know your numbers. Control your weight by dieting and exercising regularly. Limit salt intake or use salt substitutes. Remember, take all medications prescribed to you by your healthcare provider. Take control of your blood pressure. Don't let it control you.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old. This disease just ravages a family.
It changes your life. If we work together, we can stop this epidemic. Now is the moment.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more. something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
Double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
We're back as we go forward with this portion of our show. You are watching News You Can Use here on Comcast 56 and on Verizon Fios channel 36. I'm so glad that you're joining us. In this segment, we are talking about a young lady, Adrienne Smith, her husband, Tony Smith. Glad to have you all here as a couple. And you have a business. You're a successful entrepreneur / businesswoman, and your husband is very supportive of what you're doing. I think that's awesome. The name of your business?
Adrienne's Classic Creations.
Yes, and when I went to your website, I just loved it. Now, you told me you're doing a new website and all of that. I loved your first website, the one that I saw. It was colorful, it was bright, and it automatically made me think of delicious things to eat. But the best thing about what you're offering, I think, is the fact that your products don't have sugar in them. So you're not going to get fat as you enjoy things that look like this. No sugar?
Yes.
Wow. So tell us about it.
I started baking as an adult, and my husband is allergic to high fructose corn syrup. So I decided to make all his products in a healthy way. So I didn't have any training. Basically, I just started baking on my own, and I took local classes. So I wanted to come out with healthier products that didn't have sugar, because I don't eat a lot of sugar, really at all. And I also have family members that are diabetic. So I decided to come out with a sugar-free product that people can eat. And also, if they have health issues like diabetes, they can also take part in that as well. So that's why I decided to do that.
It's amazing. And in my other life, outside of what I have the opportunity to do with LaSalle University, outside of what I do at 900 AM WURD, I work for a nonprofit, Allegheny West Foundation, and they own the Tasty Cake thrift store, which is at 22nd on Hunting Park Avenue in North Philly. And all day long, people come into the thrift store to buy Tasty Cake products, and they will ask, do you have any Tasty Cake products that don't have sugar in them? Well, I never knew that Tasty Cake offered products that didn't have sugar. At one point, they did have products that didn't have sugar, but they discontinued the line. But the word's not out in the street, so people come in there all the time asking for your kind of product, you know? So I think what you're doing is outstanding, it's important, and the older I'm getting, the more serious I am about health, the more serious I am about what I eat, what I put in my body. I'm looking at what my grandchildren are eating when I'm around them, because I'm not around them all the time. But it's important what we ingest. And so this is a great thing. So you are a pastry chef.
Yes.
And you sort of fell into it because of your husband not being allergic.
Yes.
Okay. And so you started baking these products, and you were doing it from home at first? And
I was doing it home first, and family members would come over and taste it. And I decided to get serious with it because I saw that they were eating healthier.
And they liked it?
And they liked it.
Okay.
So I decided to go into business, and now I'm an LLC.
Now, when you first started in business, so you got a license, of course, business license, and took whatever steps you had to take. But the marketing piece, how did people know? Were you when you first started, were you baking out of your home and taking the product to wherever the client was? Or?
I did that a little bit, and also I now have a co-packer, and a co-packer mass produces my product. So that's how I do it too, in a larger way.
Impressive. Before we started taping, I was saying, wow, Whole Foods. So your products, what is up on this table and others like these creations that you've baked, people can purchase it at Whole Foods?
Yes, the Wynwood location and also the Marlton location in New Jersey. And it's also in the Mid-Atlantic region as well. At Rastelli's Market in Deptford, New Jersey, and also in Marlton.
To me, this is a story that dreams are made of. I know other people who have produced some kind of a food product.
Yes.
That for years I saw them trying to pitch their products to local supermarkets, be that Superfresh, Pathmark, ShopRite, whoever, and not getting it, just not getting it there. And here you are. How long did it take you to break through to Whole Foods? I mean, that's impressive.
Well, it took me a little bit.
That's a little
it was
bit,
just
a year,
basically,
2 years?
it was maybe like maybe 6 months.
Were
something
you
like that.
in the room with the Whole Food executives, like the first time they did a taste test and all of that?
Yeah, in fact, I could handle that one because that was a lot of fun, actually, Thera. We went down to what they call a cutting in their regional office in Maryland, and we met with the buyer for the region, and she got to try the products out, and fortunately for us, they were very impressed with not only the presentation of the products, but the taste. Because it's so important for viewers to understand that sugar-free
I think that's
does
the
not
point when I'm supposed to taste.
bitter. Yeah, and you'll see for yourself. If we had not told you that was sugar-free, you probably would have never guessed that that's a sugar-free carrot ginger layer cake.
Keep talking, keep talking. I'm eating.
Yeah, so that's how that worked out. And with some of our other clients, we would have cuttings with other customers where we would come in and meet with a decision maker, and it's typically a buyer.
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Good, it's good.
Yeah, typically it's a buyer or a category manager, and the real star of our company is obviously Adrian with the recipes and then the product. Once we get their product into their mouths and they see that sugar-free can be good, no digestive issues, and healthy calories, then that the hardest part of our job is actually done.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
I want to just, how did you, come up with the idea, okay, this thing is so good because I know it's good. I'm going to Whole Foods. Or did like somebody else in your family or in your circle, or was it your husband that said, honey, you need to do this?
No, I was just more so just being healthy. I've always been one that's into health. My father's into health, good health, and my uncle has diabetes, and family members in my family do. So that pushed me and gave me the notion to want to do something for family. And
so can people go this weekend and buy this if they want to?
Sure.
I can go get my own cake.
Yes.
Yeah, they're sold in the frozen area.
So I guess in 6 months or less, I'll be seeing you in some big magazines, Essence, Ebony, all of the top magazines talking about your product and you shooting up to millionaire status.
Yes, thank you.
That's great. That is great. So now, how can people find out more about the products?
Sure. Adrian's website is www.adriennecc.com. They can also communicate with her by sending her an email to adrian@adriennecc.com. And there's a blog link also on her website. So in the upper right-hand corner, as soon as they go onto the main page, they'll see the hyperlink for the blog, and they can actually see some of her comments, some discussions, and some recipes.
So do you do like birthday cakes for kiddie parties and all of that?
Sometimes I do, yes.
Because again, I'm thinking about when you think about sugar and children, and like you can notice the difference from a child that's calm in the morning that woke up, you're nice and fresh, and in the middle of the afternoon you give them some candy, and they're bouncing off the walls and the ceiling.
That's true. But my goal is my goal is definitely to go into vegan and also gluten-free. That's what I like.
Well, I am excited about this opportunity to know you, to help you talk about your fabulous products and the fact that you're at Whole Foods and at 3 different locations now for Whole Foods?
Yes, Marlton and Wynwood. That's closer for everyone in this region.
We're looking to see you in the Inquirer and the Daily News and on 3, 6, and 10 and 29 and 17 and Oprah Winfrey Show and all the other good things that are yet to come for you ahead. So how can people be in touch if they would like to have you come speak at a program somewhere, or do you do catering like for special events if there's a health and fitness event going on somewhere?
Sure I would. Definitely would do that. And they can contact me at my website and also email www.adriennecc.com and adriennecc.com.
Okay. Right. Now give a piece of advice for other up-and-coming entrepreneurs who may be watching this program and they want to do something. I don't care what it is, something positive, something legal in the business world, and they just need a little push of inspiration. What would you say?
I would just say love what you do and pursue your dreams. Life is short. Put God first, and if you make a mistake, get back up and get back in it again and learn from your mistake.
And I failed to say as we started this segment that your husband is a financial expert, so give a piece of advice on the finance part of business real quick.
Sure. Set your goals, make sure they're realistic, build out 1, 2, and 3 years down the road. Have monetary goals you'd like to reach. Money is not an enemy. Money, it can be your friend as long as you treat it as such, and it can work with you. So set those monetary thresholds you'd like to hit with your product, and then that'll motivate you, as it has us, to achieve those goals, or at least strive towards building on something you did last year.
Excellent, excellent. Well, quite a team right here, and I'm
Thank you.
excited for you. I'm excited about you, and I look forward to helping to just spread the word, to talk about your wonderful products.
Thank
and
you.
it is delicious. I can't wait to tear it up.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
we thank you again for being a part of our program today, and we'll keep cheering you on, certainly. And for all of our viewers out there, we thank you for checking us out. Don't forget, on May 13th, you can come out and learn all about how to lift your business up to the next level. Come to the main branch of the Free Library. It is free, 1901 Vine Street in Center City, Philadelphia, the main branch of the library for a wonderful business seminar all about energizing our business owners in the city of Philadelphia. And I want to encourage you to go out and vote. The primary election is on Tuesday. It's May the 19th. The polls open at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're open until 8 p.m. We're going to be making a decision about who the next mayor of the city of Philadelphia is going to be, who our 17 city council people are going to be. We have to vote to re-elect or to get a sheriff for the city of Philadelphia. We have to look at the row offices. There's a slew of judicial seats that are up for grabs. And so now is the time to be about the business of going to candidates forums, finding out who these men and women are who are asking for our votes on election day. And then on election day, do the right thing. Go to the polls, make sure that your voice is heard and your vote is counted. And I also want to remind you to check out a radio program that I do at 900 AM, WURD. It's Mondays through Fridays, 6 to 7 a.m. It's the Early Bird Show, and we call it Daybreak on Word. Check us out there. We look forward to having you join us. Thanks again, everybody, for checking us out on this edition of News You Can Use. And stay along. More great programming coming your way. Have a great day. And remember, life is fragile. Handle it with prayer.